When it comes to money, do you ever feel like you get in your own way? Well, in today's episode, we're going to talk all about how any personality type can win with money. Today, I want to talk about you. Yes, you, and how your personality type can actually help you win with money. So in this episode, it is all about our personalities and how they shape our money habits. So in a bit, we're going to talk to Enneagram expert Ian Cron. And if you don't know what the Enneagram is, don't worry, we'll get into all of it later. But the Enneagram was a total game changer for me. And Ian will explain our strengths and weaknesses when it comes to money. So when you think about your personality, we all have money tendencies, okay? Some are good, some are bad. Some take us closer to where we want to be, while others, well, they kind of keep us far away from our goals. But here at Ramsey Solutions, one of the things that we found time and time again is that over the years, there are kind of two spectrums of how people handle money. The first is, are you naturally a spender or a saver? This is kind of self-explanatory. You can probably quickly identify which one you are. Like, do you just enjoy spending money? Like, it's fun. Well, if that's you. I'm a spender, naturally. I just love spending money. I'm good with it. It's fun. It's freeing. It's great. The second group of people, it's a little bit more like, okay, I'm a saver and I feel better if I get some extra cash. I'm probably going to just put it away for later. You just don't feel the need to spend it right away. Then you're a saver. But to know where you are in the spectrum is really key. Now, the second spectrum is, are you a nerd or free spirits? Now, in Financial Peace University, which is our 9-week course, if you've not gone through it, people, you need to go through it. But we really explain this in detail because there are two types of people when it comes to money and especially budgets. Again, the nerd and the free spirits. The nerd loves to do the budget. Okay, the nerd is one of those people that are like, oh, I feel organized all the time. I love details. I like being in control. I get stressed out if I don't know what's happening. I mean, just everything is just so lined up and it's just, yes. And especially with your money, like you're the one probably with spreadsheets or you love doing the budget. It's like, yes, that's the nerd. Now, on the other spectrum, it's the free spirits over here. And listen, I'm a free spirit, so I can speak from personal experience. We're the best. I'm just kidding, no. But free spirits, listen, we're just not as worried. Everything is going to work out. Budgets, budget feels kind of restricting or confining at first. And generally speaking, free spirits, yes, we want the basics taken care of course, but we want to have some fun and it's all going to work out. That's a free spirit. So figuring out which one you are is really important. And so I decided to go into my Facebook group and do a quick poll. Because I was like, I'm curious where you land. Because here's another thing, is naturally people think that nerds are automatically savers. And that is not true. You could be a nerd and love to do the budget, but you're a spender or vice versa. So there's all these ways to look at it. And I loved going to my Facebook group because it was fascinating to see 50% of my Facebook group are nerd spenders. Yes, you guys love doing a budget, but you still will spend the money and have some fun. I love that. 32% of you are nerd savers. 12% of you are free spirit spenders. That's me, I'm part of the 12%. And 6% of you are free spirit savers. But if you're not sure which one you are, click the link in the show notes to take my nerd versus free spirit quiz. And send it to your spouse if you're married to see which one they are, because it's always fascinating to see. Okay, regardless of which type you are, though, no matter who you are, you need life insurance. Okay, while nothing will replace you, term life insurance allows your family to really be taken care of. I'm telling you, again, nerd or free spirit, you will sleep better at night knowing that if something were to happen to you, your family will not have a financial burden. Now, I recommend using Zander Insurance. They give you peace of mind for a small amount of money. So go to Zander.com and get a quote today. All right, it's time to talk about one of my favorite things, the Enneagram. Yes. Now, some of you love it. Some of you have no idea what this is. Some of you know what it is, but you hate it. But listen, I'm just speaking from personal experience. I love anything when it comes to self-awareness. This probably started in my childhood. We can go back a few years. Yes, I remember my dad brought home an assessment called DISC when I was like 9 years old and had to read out all these questions and filled it out for me as I answered everything because I didn't know what half the words meant. And he was like, okay, and he sent it in and came back and he's like, all right, you're a high DI, Rachel. And so early on, like understanding your personality and taking these assessments was just like a part of my upbringing. So Myers-Briggs, DISC, like all of those things I've done. And I love it. I think it's really, really fascinating. Some people are like all freaked out and they're like, don't put me in a box. And I'm like, you can put me in a box and then give me a whole 6-page outline of who I am. I think it's fabulous. I love it. And so I heard about the Enneagram a few years ago. And I kind of was like, what is this? Oh, it's just another one. It's not that big of a deal. And then people at work were like really talking about it. And I was like, okay, I'll take the test. And you guys, again, personal opinion, but it was the most accurate, detailed, layered approach of how I function in life. Like it was crazy. I mean, as I was reading it all, I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And then Winston took it and we were like, oh my gosh, this is Winston. And then our two numbers, because you get numbers with the Enneagram, we like looked up the marriage of the two numbers and we were like, this is us. Like it was unbelievable. And so again, what that revealed to me was self-awareness, understanding who you are, understanding your strengths, understanding your weaknesses. Because when you can understand why you perceive the world the way you do and why you see it the way you do and how you see it the way you do, even when it comes to your money, it helps you win. When you're self-aware, you can win with your money, you can win in your relationships, you can win at your job. Like so much comes out when you are self-aware. And so this is what's really key. And to help us, specifically with the Enneagram expert Ian Cron is coming on, and I'm really excited because this interview, it's one of my favorites ever. So it's coming up next. Ian, thanks for coming.
I'm really delighted to be here.
Well, I'm pumped. We laughed earlier because I was like, we did a whole show on Disney World, which I love. And now we're doing a segment on the Enneagram, which I'm obsessed with. So those of you guys, you may have heard about the Enneagram. Some of you have no idea what we just said. You have no idea what this is even about. Ian's going to explain all of that in a second. Some of you hate the Enneagram because everyone in your life is talking about it and you're annoyed by it. Stay with us, stick around. And others of you are probably like me, and I may put you in that camp where you just love it. You're fascinated by it. It's so interesting. It's helpful. It's been a big part of my life in different relationships. So, Ian, for those people that are like, what's that word even, Enneagram? Like, what is this thing? How would you explain it?
So the Enneagram is an ancient personality typing system, and it teaches that there are 9 basic personality types in the world, one of which we gravitate toward and adopt in childhood just as a way to cope and feel safe in the world. And what's really important to understand is that each of those types has an unconscious motivation or driver that powerfully influences how that type acts, thinks, and feels, and how it sees the world, how it relates to daily realities.
Yeah, so fascinating. Okay, so the 9 basic types, can you go through them fairly quickly? Yes.
Yeah. 9 different types of human beings in the next 2 minutes.
I know.
Okay.
Describe all the human race.
Yeah, here we go. All right. So ones are called the perfectionists. Yeah. These are meticulous, hardworking, reliable, conscientious, detail-oriented people who have a compulsive need to perfect themselves, others, and the world.
It's good. Now the twos, my sister's a 2.
These are 2s, 3s, and 4s are all heart people. Right? So 2s are called the helpers, and they have a compulsive need to meet the needs of other people, right? They want to help and love and support others in order to win the appreciation of other people, the love and appreciation and approval of other people. They're fantastic human beings. 3s are called the performers or the achievers. They have a need to succeed or to appear successful and to avoid failure at all costs. Okay. 4s are called the individualists or sometimes the romantics. These are people who have a need to be special and unique. Okay.
And you're a 4, aren't you?
I am.
Yes. I listen to his podcast all the time, so I know everything about Ian Cron. Okay, so I'm a 3.
Okay.
Or so all the tests say.
Right.
I'm a 3, but I'm having this crisis. So after this, we'll probably put it on the podcast, but I need help. And I'm having this like crazy between a 7 and a 3. I don't know. We'll talk about it a little bit, but I'm the 3. I'm the 3. Good. Yes.
All right, 5s.
Yes.
Right? They're called the investigators. They're analytical, emotionally detached, oftentimes, very, very private people who have a need to understand and perceive anything. These people are information junkies. They are constantly gathering information, really to fend off feeling overwhelmed by the world.
Yes.
Right?
It's my husband, aka that's why Winston Cruze has never appeared on the show.
Seriously, you're married to a 5?
I'm married to a 5, yep.
Wow.
I know. And like the one thing I'm like, babe, come on the show. And he's like, that is the last last thing in him. It's the last thing.
Oh my gosh.
But he supports me. Like I feel very affirmed and all of this. But yes, he just doesn't want it. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So they're very private people. I appreciate that.
Very, very, very private.
Yep.
6s are called the loyalists, sometimes the devil's advocate or the loyal skeptics.
Okay.
Right? They are worst case scenario thinkers. 7s are called the enthusiasts. They're fun-filled, spontaneous people who love adventure, and although in service to avoiding difficult or what we would call afflictive emotions, uncomfortable feelings.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. It's good.
8s are called the challengers, sometimes the bosses.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What feels like conflict to you feels like connection to an 8. So that kind of
challengers. Yes.
Yeah, that's how they connect.
Yes.
Man. That's how they connect with people.
It's good. Yep.
So 9s are called the peacemakers. They are often known as the sweethearts of the Enneagram.
Okay.
Yeah. So 9s want to maintain the peace. They want to maintain connection with other people and avoid conflict at all costs.
Which is so funny that the number is next to an 8. So that was one of my questions is there why are they in the order they're in?
Yes. Well, one thing to be sure is it's not reflecting a hierarchy.
Yes.
Right? There's no number that's better than another. It's not like 1s are the best and 9s, sorry. That's not what it is. These are all strategies. Right?
Yes. Which is like subconscious, right? To it until you're aware. But like
exactly,
that's what's like, and that's what I love about it, you guys. Is this whole episode is about self-awareness and understanding. When you understand how you're wired, the way you are, why you are, it affects your money, it affects your relationships, everything in your life. And so understanding this is so key. And the Enneagram has been one of the tools that puts language to it. I mean, I've done every type of Myers-Briggs, DISC, all of that. Yep. But it's on a different level.
It is.
And so I would love for you to go through the numbers and how each personality interacts with money. Because it's how we all interact. And it's interesting when you put your personality to it, what unfolds.
Yeah. And you know what? I've thought about this topic a lot. And so I've been really excited about doing this show.
Okay.
Because I've been thinking to myself like, oh my gosh, like understanding economics or personal finance, your relationship with money through the lens of personality.
Yes.
Like actually, if you know your personality type, you can avoid a lot of problems.
A lot of mistakes, if you know. Amen.
Right.
Yes.
And if you know where your gifts are and your challenges are, and you gain self-awareness around them, you can spot them before they undo you.
Yes.
Right?
It's good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's true.
Right.
It's true. Yes.
All right, let's talk about 1s. All right. I have not met a lot of 1s who are in debt.
Yes.
They're very concerned about budgeting. They're very concerned. They're ethical and they're principled people.
It's good.
Now, the trap for them could be moving from responsibility with money to rigidity with money. Maybe overly criticizing themselves and judging themselves for not doing it well enough. And if they're not careful, judging other people for not doing it well enough.
Yes, that's good. So we talk about having nerds and free spirits are kind of two camps people live in. And so if you're like a nerd on steroids, then you probably could relate being a 1 of like, this is how it is and this is what you do and it works. Like you just you do the plan, this is it. And so that control a lot of times could come, so good.
2s, generosity to the max.
And serve. And
they want to serve. Now, the problem with that is overgiving. It's like, I'm just going to give without any thought.
That's good.
And I'm going to call it love.
Yes.
When actually it could be enablement. More than
that it
love,
goes into.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, 3s. The upside is they are goal-crushing machines. They get things done, productive as heck. The downside is they could fall into the trap of using money as a way to project an image of success. They'll buy status symbols, right?
Yep.
Some, what I would call success markers.
Totally. Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So 4s are tricky.
Okay.
All right. 4s might think that budgeting is beneath them. They can
It doesn't allow the life and creativity to go.
That's
that
for the little people.
Okay.
The little people need to worry about money. I'm an artiste, and I'm above such mundane topics like finances.
That's so good.
Right?
Yes.
5s. A problem for a 5 can be that they can spend a lot of time researching what to do with money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How to invest and how to do all this stuff and not actually execute on the plan.
And go through with it. Uh-huh.
Right?
Yep.
They can get a little distracted. They go down the wormhole of knowledge.
Of Googling and looking up things and
Totally.
researching. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
That's so funny.
6s, these loyalists are chronic worriers.
Okay.
And a pitfall for them can be they're always looking to outside authorities to make decisions for them. And that can be a problem around finances, right?
Interesting,
Because there's some good people out there and there are some not so good people out there, right? And so I think for 6s, though, how on the upside, they are so earthy and practical. And they can live within a budget like 1s can and 5s can, right?
Yep.
2s, 3s, 4s have a much harder time than 1s and 5s and 6s like sticking to a budget.
Okay. That's good.
Okay.
Yes.
7s.
Having fun.
Oh,
Just
the impulsivity, though, it can get them into so much trouble with money. And really, it can.
yes.
I have seen more credit card debt around 7s because it's like fun, spontaneity.
Oh.
Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's just take this trip. Let's have that meal.
This is fun. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Yep. I can see that.
Now with 8s, these are people who will they're all in or they're all out. They go big or they go home.
Yes.
It's, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So they can gobble up life and money can fly out the door. But here's something to their credit. They don't want to be controlled by anybody else.
Oh, that's good.
They don't want to be controlled by the bank. They don't want to be controlled.
Someone else telling them what to do.
Or someone owning them, being at the mercy of the bank.
Yep.
No way, right? So 9s, wonderful sweethearts, they get easily distracted. Budgeting's hard for 9s because they're easily distracted. They get going on a budget and then they suffer mission drift.
Yes.
So every type has its own lens through which I think it understands and sees money. And we're just scratching the surface of what we could talk about.
Totally.
Finances and types.
Oh, so good. I know we'll have to have you back. Thanks, Ian, for coming. Seriously, so huge, your knowledge. And truly, you guys, this idea of self-awareness and understanding who you are, whether you use the Enneagram or not, it's amazing how you can take what you've learned about yourself and not only avoid problems when it comes to your money, but know how you interact with it and why you see money the way you do and your relationships in your life as well. It's so helpful. So, Ian, your book, The Road Back to You, I love. The Cruzes have it and the extended Cruzes all have it. And the Ramseys have it. We love it. So check out his book. His podcast, Typology, is so fascinating. You do such a great job.
Thank you.
Interviewing people with different numbers and talking them through their life and stuff. It's fascinating, you guys. And then you have a great new assessment, right?
I do, yeah. It's very hard to find a good Enneagram assessment. One that's sort of well-researched and gives you a great accuracy rate. So we have one called the IEQ9. It just launched.
Okay, it's exciting.
So if folks go to my website, Ian Morgan Cron, IANMORGANCRON.com, and go to the tab IEQ9, they can learn all about it.
There, guys, make sure to check it out. Seriously, dig into this stuff, understand who you are. It's so huge. So anyways, we need to analyze me. If you want to hear that, listen to the podcast, to my podcast, because I need help. So let's do that next.
All right.
Okay. Wasn't Ian great, you guys? I just think it's so fascinating. I love it. Okay, when it comes to money though, if you want to learn more about how you can win with money, this area of your life, regardless of your personality type, regardless of your Enneagram number, sign up for Financial Peace University. Seriously, go do it. It helps tremendously. All right, to get access to everything we've talked about in today's episode, including the Nerd or Free Spirit quiz, click the link in the show notes. I would love it too if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel and to my podcast. Now listen, the podcast is fun this episode because Ian really helped me through my Ennea crisis. That's right, struggling with my number, talked me off the ledge. It was great. So just search The Rachel Cruze Show wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more like this from me. Thanks, you guys, so much for watching. And as always, be sure to take control of your money and create a life you love.